What's going on, people? CP3 live in the lab, coming to you from. No, I'm not at the lab. Think about it. I've been drinking. I'm a little upset after that week 1 loss to the LA Chargers. Let me make sure my vocals and everything is set. Look like everything good. All right, having a little switching up, so I had to switch up some of the technology. You know how that is. Want to make sure everything coming in nice and clear. But it's a post game week 1. Washington football team takes the loss to the Chargers week 1, 20-16. A lot of things with this game that were frustrating. I didn't expect the Chargers to be as effective as they were on offense, being that they didn't play in the preseason. I mentioned that in the pregame show. They had a great game plan of having a quick passing game with Herbert and him getting the ball out of his hands to negate the pass rush of the Washington football team, which is their strength. And he was doing a great job. I have questions about Jack Del Rio's game plan and lack of adjustments in the second half to try to fix some of the issues we were seeing with players being wide open in the zone they were running. I haven't watched the press game post conference yet. I've seen one of the alerts come up that coach is in there now. So once I watch those and get some answers, we'll cover that tomorrow night on Sports on the Hill podcast. As always, so we started with a Washington football team, of course, and breaking down this unfortunate loss that I had them on the books for a victory this week. But I gotta chalk this one up to that fumble by Gibson on the goal line. I mean, close to their goal line. That was a huge momentum changer for the game. It was coming right off of William Jackson, made a stellar play to get the interception to turn the ball over, and then the immediate next play, you give the ball right back. Gotta have two hands on the ball. In preseason, we saw him doing that. You know, when he got the ball, he had two hands on it, securing it. Didn't have any ball security issues, but unfortunately, this one hurt because I feel like it swung the momentum of the game. It gave the Chargers the go-ahead score and gave them the momentum and fired them up to be able to shut down the Washington offense, to force them to punt that everyone is upset about that they punted. I mean, I understand coach's thought process. You know, if you get a stop, it's 3rd and 7 before the 2-minute warning. Get a stop, they punt before the 2 minutes. You got 3 timeouts with 2-minute drill. Go down, touchdown, win the game. He put the faith on his defense, and unfortunately, the game plan faltered. I don't know how Keenan Allen was open so many times in crucial situations. They're giving up 3rd downs, 3rd and 16s, and they were playing a soft zone, no blitzing. I know they want to get pressure with the front 4 to free up the other 7 players to, wreak havoc and, disguise stuff. But when you saw it wasn't working in the first half, yeah, you got to switch up. You got to, change the game plan up and make adjustments. You saw what the Chargers did when they came out, had a good drive, then Washington, stiffened up, shut down their offense, and they adjusted. Like I said, the quick passing game always kills a strong pass rush, especially if they're effective. And you have weapons like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. They were basically abusing the secondary of the Washington football team. Kendall Fuller started out on the outside, but I think Williams was just too big for him. I was hoping that they put him on the inside and let St. Juice go out there. But, Mike Williams and Allen are trained professionals that taught the rookie some lessons today. So, unfortunately, this is growing pains on the field, what you got to do. I wasn't chalking this one up as a loss. I had this one as a week 1 victory. So, unfortunately, no victory Monday for Sports on the Hill podcast. But I'll just go over some of the numbers quickly because, as you see, I'm at the bar radio right now. We got a show going on live at 6 o'clock tonight, around 6. Sometimes we start a little bit after 6. Covering current events, politics. Maybe talk a little bit more about this game and maybe some of the other NFL storylines if I check out some of the scores before the show. And independent music, as always, playing the best videos, the new hottest videos of the best independent artists, not just locally, but all over the world. But let's get into the numbers of this unfortunate Week 1 loss. Taylor Haneke came in after Fitzpatrick went down in the second quarter with a hip injury after getting hit, from the blind side on a good rush by the Chargers defensive lineman. Haneke went 11 for 15 with 122 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions, with a 119 quarterback rating. Herbert went 31 for 47 for 337 yards, one touchdown, one interception with an 85.2 quarterback rating. I like the way Heinicke looked when he came in the game. Not the first possession, but the second, where he slowed himself down. He bought time with his feet, but he didn't run. He got to the line of scrimmage, hit the check down man, got a first down. Got out of bounds when he got the first. Put him in position to, get points. So, depending on how long Fitzpatrick's going to be out, I wasn't expecting him to only last a quarter and a half, but that's football. Opening day, something crazy always happens. And, unfortunately, all the talk about Fitzpatrick, getting himself together and leading his team to success, didn't even make it through the first half of the game. So we want to see how that plays out, check the injury report, and see what Coach has to say after the game. Like I said, I'll check out the post-game conference after I finish my post-game show, and then we'll cover it tomorrow night on Sports on the Hill podcast. The running game, Eckler, who was a late game, active. They didn't know if he was going to play or not. He had some ankle issues. He had 15 carries for 57 yards with a 3.8 yard average and one touchdown. Antonio Gibson had 21 carries for 92 yards with a 4.4 yard average, no touchdowns, and that costly fumble. He was having a good game until he put the ball on the ground. And like I said, I felt like that was the momentum changer for the Chargers that they needed after Washington had just intercepted, them close to the goal line. It's unfortunate it happened, but, I looked at the replay. It was clearly a fumble. Got to keep both hands on the ball, especially when you're in traffic, especially with your goal line to your back. This is where the big discrepancy is. I mentioned already that Herbert had 337 passing yards. Keenan Allen had 9 catches for 100 yards. And Thomas had 3 catches. Logan Thomas had 3 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown for the Washington football team. Mike Williams also had a big day, for the Chargers. So, the secondary, we thought that was going to be a strength of the team. I know it's week 1, and, live action is different from preseason, and, they still figure things out. But it was too many times where, receivers were open with nobody around them for about 5 yards. I know they were running some zone, but I think there were a couple of blown coverages in there also. And that was definitely supposed to be the strength of this defense. But as we talked about on many occasions, if your front four aren't getting any pressure and the quarterback's getting the ball out quick and they, receivers are running their routes precisely and like they're supposed to, it's going to be a long day. And unfortunately, when I go through the team stats, you'll understand what I mean by a long day, because the defense was definitely on the field longer than they should have been, and third down conversions was horrible, is to say the least. But some of the team stats, first down, the Chargers had 27, Washington had 13. Third down conversions, Chargers were 14 for 19. Washington football team was 2 for 10. Chargers had 90 rush yards. Washington had 128. Chargers had 334 pass yards. The Washington football team had 133. Total yards, Chargers had 424 yards. Total yards, Washington football team had 261. Chargers had 1 sack. Washington football team had 2. 6 penalties and for 95 yards for the Chargers. 8 penalties, 57 yards for the Washington football team. This team building, you cannot put yourself in a bad position by dumb penalties and procedural penalties that take you out of scoring opportunities. We saw that a couple of times. Penalties, extended drives for both teams. But Washington can't afford to do that, trying to build something, trying to get their rhythm and chemistry on offense, especially when you're missing your wide receiver and Samuel and now you're missing your at that time starting quarterback. So the offense has some work to do, big time. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you checking in. Just doing a quick little post game before the show tomorrow when we break it down in more depth. I'm gonna reach out to Big Hurt and Dujane to see if either one of them are available. If not, I might have somebody else on, or I might just break it down myself. Who knows? But in time of possession, 36 minutes for the Chargers and 23 minutes for the Washington football team. That's why I said the defense had been on the field too long. Third down conversions, they were, like I said, just pitch and catch in some occasions where they had 5 yards around them before any other defender was there. And we saw that before. We didn't see that under Del Rio's defense last year as much. But we definitely got a lot of it today. So with 4 days until the Giants game, they better get their act together because, you don't want to go 0-2 in the first 2 weeks of the season. Then you got a long wait until your next game because they got next Sunday off because they're playing on Thursday. So I don't know. This game was definitely did not turn out the way I expected, the way I predicted, the way I thought it would. Definitely has some work to do. And now looking back at that prediction chart that Robbie posted on the Sports OTHP, like I said, that was the best case scenario record I put up. And as of right now, that's already busted. So there go my predictions. But appreciate you tuning in. I know I'm always streaming on YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook. I want to work on getting on Instagram, streaming live. So stay tuned, making some moves because certain other social media platforms are suppressing our views again. So got to get the word out, get the message out, share the videos to your pages. Tell folks, it's a better sports show around than what they already getting spoon-fed through this DC sports media. So come holler at us. Go check out the website, sportsothp.com, for all the latest episodes. This will probably be up soon. Check out our podcasters, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, just Google, #SportsOTHP to any of your podcast listening. And you'll check out the shows there. And only they up there the next day. You can click on the apparel line to help contribute to the cause. Got T-shirts, hoodies, sweats, banners, pillows, everything. Go check it out. And appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out At the Bar Radio, streaming live on these same channels, starting around 6 o'clock. It's not the same show as Sports on the Hill. Tune in. You want some laughs and some real talk and some craziness also mixed in with a lot of drinking too. So y'all be easy. I'll catch y'all tomorrow on Sports on the Hill podcast starting at 9 o'clock. And y'all enjoy the rest of your day and try not to think too hard about this loss.